Councilmember Rainville.
Present.
Ellison is absent. Councilmember Palmisano.
Present.
Vice Chair Payne.
Present.
Chair Vita.
Present.
There are 4 members present.
Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. Today, we have the consent agenda before us. There are 10 items on today's consent agenda. Item 1 is authorizing a submittal of a grant application to the Centers for Disease and Control for the new Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health Grant. Item 2 is accepting a donation from the Federal Bureau of Investigations for travel expenses for Police Sergeant Thomas, subject to attend a recertification training course. Item 3 is accepting a donation from the Association of Threat Assessment Professionals for travel expenses for Police Sergeant Dean Kreigel to attend the 2023 Association of Threat Assessment Professionals Winter Conference. Item 4 is accepting a donation from East Lake Isles Residents Association for purchase of a fixed camera for public safety purposes. Item 5 is accepting a grant from Minnesota Homeland Security and Emergency Management for police bomb disposal equipment. Item 6 is authorizing a revenue contract with SMG to provide law enforcement equipment at U.S. Bank Stadium. Item 7 is authorizing a revenue contract with SMG for bomb detection services at U.S. Bank Stadium. Item 8 is authorizing a revenue contract with SMG to provide SWAT security services at U.S. Bank Stadium. Item 9 is approving appointments to the Minneapolis Advisory Committee on Aging. Item 10 is referring to staff the subject matter of an ordinance amending the noise violation exemption related to sounds associated with religious worship. Additionally, item 11 is receiving and filing the Northside Green Zone Task Force appointment. I'll include a formal receipt of this report in my motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on these items, or would anyone like to pull any items? Vice Chair Payne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, we have 2 items on here for gift acceptance for some additional training for some of our MPD staff, and I was wondering if maybe Director McPherson, I know these are 2 very different topics, but I was curious just in understanding, is the intention behind these trainings specifically around certification for an individual, or is this like a train the trainer type of training where they're going to come back and maybe train additional staff within MPD?
Yeah. Committee Chair, council members, these are actually for recertification, so it is very individualized for that person. However, they are both in specialty units that do this work, and so they will obviously be bringing this work back to the group. But the certifications are specifically for them individually.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will move approval of the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. That carries, and the consent agenda is approved. The next item is the passage of a resolution adopting the Minneapolis Food Vision. Here to present on this item is Allison Babb from the Health Department and Devon Nolan, a Food Council member. Welcome, both of you, and thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, Chair Vita, Vice Chair Payne, and members of the committee. My name is Allison Babb. I'm the manager of the Homegrown Minneapolis initiative, which is based in the Health Department. And I'm here today to ask for your support of Chair Vita and Vice Chair Payne's resolution to approve the Minneapolis Food Vision as a framework to guide city food systems policy, investment, and action. So launched in 2008, Homegrown Minneapolis is a city-community partnership expanding our community's ability to grow, process, distribute, eat, and compost more healthy, sustainable, and local foods. Homegrown's current body of work is primarily focused on 4 main categories, so supporting community and market gardens on city-owned land, supporting the city's 20 farmers markets, helping fund food shelves, and staffing the Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council. Here in chambers today and online, we have Homegrown Minneapolis staff and current and past members of the Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council. I'd like to thank them for all of their hard work that they've done to get us to this point, as well as their ongoing support. Now I'd like to introduce Devon Nolan, a food justice advocate and lifelong Northside resident. She has served on the Food Council since 2014 and is a previous co-chair of the council. Devon has been engaged in creating the Minneapolis Food Vision since its inception in 2019. She will introduce the Food Council and its role in creating and implementing the Minneapolis Food Vision.
Thank you, Allison, and thank you, Councilmember Vita, Chair and Vice Chair Payne. My name is Devon Nolan, as Allison said. The Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council is a 25-member city advisory group launched in 2012. We are appointed and report to the mayor and the city council. We are comprised of 17 community and 8 city representatives. The Food Council works with diverse stakeholders to build a healthy, resilient local food system and connects local government, businesses, organizations, and residents. As you can see on the slide, the Food Council does a variety of things. The Food Council lead development has been the lead development in the Food Vision Plan and will guide and monitor its implementation. Excuse me. There we go. The Food Vision is a 2033 vision. Can you imagine we're talking about 2033? For a more equitable, climate resilient, just, and sustainable local food system and local food economy. It includes priority areas, strategies, and suggested metrics, and is focused on municipal policy and investment and Food Council action. We are an action-oriented group. The Minneapolis Food Vision is based on past work and alignment with the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, which is a commitment to developing and deploying a plan for how to nurture a just, equitable, and resilient local food system. In addition to being a standalone document, the Food Vision is a companion to the city's forthcoming climate equity plan. Next slide. When we first started this work to develop the vision for a food system, the Food Council developed some guiding food justice principles, which you'll see on the screen. We wanted to make sure this work was grounded in shared values. The 7 food justice principles that you see here serve as values-based framework to guide the content, priorities, and implementation of the food vision with a focus on equity. I'm now going to hand it back to Allison to talk more about the food vision, what it contains, and the community engagement process that has helped us get to this point. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Devon. So the Minneapolis Food Vision is organized around 6 priority areas with 29 strategies to support them. You have a handout that shows the 6 priority areas as well as all 29 strategies, but I'll do a quick high-level overview for you. So the local food supply priority area is focused on increasing the availability of locally grown and made food. The second priority area, urban agriculture, is about supporting growing food within our city. The local food businesses priority area is about supporting our city's food enterprises and workers. Priority 4, the healthy food skills and healthy food access priority, contains strategies to help build food skills and access diverse, healthy, culturally appropriate food at institutions like schools and hospitals. The wasted food priority area is focused on preventing food from being wasted by diverting edible food to those in need and composting the inedible wasted food that remains. The final priority is the food systems research and outreach, which includes strategies focused on understanding key issues and solutions to advance a just and sustainable food system. So these priorities and strategies were developed through an extensive community engagement process. I'm proud to say that over 1,000 people were involved in the development of the Minneapolis Food Vision. The process began in the spring of 2019, and like many things, was delayed by COVID-19. The Food Council began creating the food justice principles that Devon highlighted earlier, followed by identifying the 6 priority areas and 29 strategies. These were developed not only through Food Council meetings, but also individual content expert interviews, community focus groups, and topic-specific online events. And then following the identification of the priority areas and strategies, we did extensive community engagement to prioritize and refine them. In February of 2022, we launched an online survey that was distributed through a diverse range of city communications channels, including through social media posts like the one you see here. We received over 900 usable responses that helped us further refine the recommendations. Knowing that the demographics of online survey respondents tend to skew more white than our city's actual population, we also, in addition to the online survey, worked with 5 community-based cultural organizations to host community conversations. Between January and March of 2022, the organizations that you see listed on the slide hosted conversations with a total of 122 individuals. This feedback also contributed to the prioritization process and provided other helpful guidance as we moved into drafting. The Minneapolis Food Vision was drafted over the summer and fall of 2022. The Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council provided guidance on the outline and reviewed drafts of each section. In November of 2022, the full draft was also reviewed by 4 community peer reviewers, as seen on the slide. And the public also had the opportunity to provide comment through an online feedback form. Thank you to everyone who helped review the draft. It was a big job. With the Minneapolis Food Vision draft now complete, following approval by City Council, the next phase is implementation planning. So the Food Vision is a 10-year vision document. However, our implementations will be on shorter timeframes, and we'll be starting off with a 1 to 2 year implementation plan. There will be 3 work groups around priorities that the Food Council has determined as both most important and most exciting to work on. They are local food procurement, urban agriculture land access and season extension, and healthy food skills. Work groups will consist of Food Council members as well as community members who are encouraged to get involved. That concludes my presentation. I would welcome any questions from the committee.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Vice Chair Payne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I feel like we've had conversations about implementation, and that's clearly something that's coming in the future. We also have our land use study that's kind of like urgently happening right now. And one consideration that I've had around food access is our land use appropriately responding to the need? And so, for instance, I believe grocery stores within certain zones aren't really called out as a specific use. They're just kind of under general retail. Are these types of like technical implementation details within the scope of some of your team's thinking, or is this something that we should really be taking the initiative on, or how can we like support each other to make sure that we're ensuring that that food access is there, especially Chair Vita and I know Councilmember Ellison have lost some grocery stores recently. So I'm just wanting to make sure that we're, from an implementation perspective, being able to respond to that.
Yes, thank you for the question. Chair Vita and Vice Chair Payne, I would say that the answer to your question is both. So there are certain things that the health department is well positioned in partnership with community partners, including the Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council, to weigh in on with regard to the zoning changes, and we are doing so. So as discussed previously with your office, we are submitting, the Food Council voted at their last meeting to submit a series of comments related to season extension as it pertains to deep winter greenhouses, regular greenhouses, as well as hoop houses. So that's something that the Food Council will be submitting for the public record, as well as sharing with council members as soon as they're complete, which I hope will be very soon. We are not well positioned to go through the over 300 pages of the new zoning code study. We were fortunate to have a pro bono attorney help us prepare some of the comments as it relates to the season extension, but we are not submitting any comments about retail grocers. So if you think that something needs to happen in that space, I would encourage your office to pursue that, and we are certainly happy to be a partner.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Ms. Babb, and thank you to all the community members who have shown up today. So many familiar faces. I think Devon said it earlier, this is a working group, and that is so true because most of you I see all the time working on this very issue, food justice for our community, especially in North Minneapolis. I'm looking forward to the 10-year plan. I know you said, like, that seems far out. It's really not, though. So I'm excited that we're planning ahead in this way and super excited to support this work in whatever way I can as the chair and as a council member. So I look forward to working together with you all, especially after this is adopted. So again, thank you for your time, for showing up here and presenting this wonderful work that you all are doing in Minneapolis. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Councilmember Rainville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank you and the other staff members who gave me that very good briefing the other day, and I'm very impressed. And I'm wondering if you would consider, if the authors would consider allowing me to also be an author.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no further discussion, I will move approval for this item. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. That carries, and this item is approved, and it will be forwarded to next week's council meeting. Thank you all. And I think Councilmember Palmisano wanted to share something with us before we ended the meeting. Okay.
Sorry, let me grab this. I was thrilled to see last night, I think I got the message after 10 o'clock last night with a beautiful picture of a fire truck, one of our Minneapolis fire trucks finally arriving in Cuernavaca in Mexico. And I just wanted to make note of it, that back in October of 2019, Minneapolis made the commitment to donate 2 fire trucks, actually to our sister city of Cuernavaca, Mexico. But due to the pandemic, the actual delivery of the equipment was made difficult, so those trucks remained in storage here in Minneapolis. But last night, they arrived with much gratitude from city officials and their local fire department. So I appreciate Public Works staff for maintaining and preparing the vehicles, the fire department for wanting to donate them and going through that process, and Camino, which is the local Minneapolis Cuernavaca sister city organization, and Meet Minneapolis for helping to facilitate that delivery. It takes a lot. You think that you can just make this simple change, but it really takes a huge coordination of resources to make that real. And it was a beautiful photo last night. I will be happy to send it out.
Thank you. And seeing no further business before us and without objection, I will declare this meeting adjourned.
LIMS, your gateway to local government.